What if humanity's story didn't begin where we think it did? What if a forgotten chapter of Earth's past was studied, documented, and quietly set aside? Tonight, we're examining a declassified document, not to claim certainty, but to ask the questions it raises about Adam, ancient catastrophe, and the world before recorded history. Before we begin, let's be clear about what this video is and what it is not. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not a claim that the CIA endorsed or believed everything in the document we're discussing. And this is certainly not an attempt to replace or undermine scripture. What we're doing here is simple, examining a real document that was studied by real researchers, asking why it captured their attention, and exploring what it might reveal about the deep history of our world. This is not about replacing scripture. It's about understanding history through careful inquiry. It's about honoring both faith and curiosity, because the two are not enemies. They're companions on the journey toward truth. So if you're willing to explore with an open mind and a steady heart, let's begin. In 1966, a man named Chan Thomas wrote a book called The Adam and Eve Story. It proposed a radical theory about cyclical catastrophes that reset human civilization throughout history. The book was obscure, few people read it. And then, in 1993, the CIA declassified a partial copy of it through the Freedom of Information Act. Why would the CIA have this book in their archives at all? The answer is less dramatic than you might think, but no less interesting. During the Cold War, intelligence agencies studied everything that might affect global stability, geological events, climate patterns, societal collapse scenarios. They weren't endorsing theories, they were gathering information. But the fact that portions of this book remained classified for decades raises a question. What was in it that warranted such caution? The document discusses something called pole shifts, sudden catastrophic changes in Earth's magnetic or rotational axis that could trigger worldwide destruction, floods, earthquakes, the erasure of entire civilizations. And here's what makes it fascinating. Ancient cultures around the world describe exactly this kind of event. If you appreciate calm, thoughtful exploration of hidden history and biblical mystery, subscribe and turn on notifications. This channel exists for exactly that. No hype, no fear, just curiosity guided by respect for truth. So what is a pole shift exactly? In simple terms, it's a dramatic change in Earth's axis, either magnetic or physical. Imagine the planet's spin shifting suddenly, causing oceans to surge across continents, mountains to rise, coastlines to vanish. Mainstream science debates whether such events are possible on catastrophic timescales. But here's what we do know. Ancient cultures across the globe, separated by oceans and centuries, tell remarkably similar stories. The Sumerians spoke of a great deluge. The Bible describes Noah's flood. Hindu texts mention cycles of creation and destruction. Indigenous peoples of the Americas recount tales of worlds that ended in fire and water. These aren't just myths, they're memories. Archaeological evidence shows advanced structures submerged underwater, civilizations that rose and fell before recorded history, and geological layers that suggest rapid, violent change. We're not here to prove a pole shift happened. We're here to notice a pattern, that humanity's oldest stories speak of something ending, something resetting, and something beginning again. And this brings us to Adam. Traditional interpretation places Adam at the beginning of all humanity, the first human being created roughly 6,000 years ago. But what if that's not quite the full picture? What if Adam marks not the beginning of humanity, but the beginning of a new age? The start of recorded history, the dawn of a world reset after catastrophe. The Bible is remarkably silent about what came before Adam. Genesis opens with, "In the beginning," but it doesn't tell us what preceded that beginning. It doesn't say there was nothing, only that God began something new. This isn't a denial of Adam's significance. It's a reframing of his timing. It asks whether Adam represents the first man of this world, the world we inhabit now, after something ancient and terrible ended. If you haven't seen our video, What Existed Before Adam, it explores this question more deeply and connects directly to this mystery. It examines pre-Adamic theories, ancient texts, and what Scripture itself suggests about the world before Genesis 1:1. The point is not to rewrite theology. The point is to recognize that the Bible may be revealing more than we've traditionally understood, that history is deeper, stranger, and more layered than a surface reading suggests. If this question challenges how you've always thought about Genesis, let me know in the comments. Curiosity is welcome here. So is disagreement, as long as it's respectful. We're all exploring together. So what can we say with confidence? Here's what's documented. The CIA studied a book about cyclical catastrophes. That's a fact. Ancient cultures worldwide describe global resets. That's a fact. Archaeological evidence shows lost civilizations and unexplained structures. That's a fact. Here's what's theoretical. Whether pole shifts occur on the scale described, whether they caused the floods recorded in ancient texts, whether Adam's arrival marks a post-catastrophe renewal. And here's what remains unknown. What truly happened before recorded history, what knowledge was lost, what the world looked like before this one began. Some mysteries aren't meant to be answered quickly. They're meant to be explored carefully, with humility and patience. What we're doing here is not declaring truth. We're tracing patterns, honoring questions, and allowing space for wonder. In the next video, we'll uncover the ancient book that many believe explains what happened to the world before history, and why it terrified early religious leaders. A book so controversial, it was banned. So dangerous, it was hidden. And so revealing, it may hold answers to the very questions we've been asking tonight. If this video expanded how you think about humanity's past, subscribe and turn on notifications. More hidden mysteries and revelations are coming, explored with care, respect, and a commitment to truth. You'll also find related videos on the channel exploring Adam, ancient scrolls, and forgotten prophecies. This isn't just one mystery. It's a tapestry of questions, woven together across time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for thinking. And thank you for seeking. The story of humanity is deeper than we know, but together we can explore it, one question at a time.